What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? NBA is back. My goodness, it feels good. 10 MLB games on the slate, 2 NBA games on the slate. Special guest Nolly Knows. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag here at the Odds headquarters, Odds HQ. Man, it's been a tough little while for all of us. 4 months of unexpected awfulness. But it's coming back. It's all coming back. Who cares that there's nobody in the stands? Well, maybe we care a little. But it's coming back. God, that feels good. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Backdoor cover. And now there's Ulysses Hayes. Love it. Ulysses Hayes in the house. Kenny Rogers won. Mark Rosado. Lamont Williams. Topset. Buzznuts. Spencer Hicks. Look at that. Spencer Hicks in the house. God, I love this shit. Attaboy, Spence. Viper NB making moves. And look at Viper NB's action. Indians first 5, Dodgers minus 142, Tigers under 10, and Slow-Mo Joe Ingles. And I'm with you. I'm not on the over 10.5 points, but if you cash yours, I'll probably cash mine. I'm on my over 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Look at that. Viper MB. That's my first NBA action. We're going to go over everything. Man, the Padres costing me a winning day yesterday. Not enough for me not to give the Kobe Jordan fist. I'm excited. Man, I'm pumped. There's Mark Unkefer in the house. Leo Leon. Yeah, Leo Leon yesterday started beautifully. 3-0. I hit 8 of 9. And 3-3. So what happens when you get a little. And minus units because the juice. Mark Unkefer says, I was catching Mike Conley under point props almost nightly and wonder if he's thinking more about his wife and new to be baby. Interesting. Well, there's a lot of unknown with this Jazz squad without Bogdanovich. What I do know is that Slow-Mo Joe might be more important. It might have the ball more than Conley. Gerald Jones in the house. Jay Stone, Viper, NB. Andrew G. Slats, 45. Slats coming off a big night. 3-0 last night, 5-0 last 2 days. Hey, the boy, Slats, 45. And our special guest, Nolly Knows, who is now going to be here every Thursday. Nolly Knows opened yesterday, 4-0. And was within a taint hair of 5-0, but he lost that first 5 under in that Angels game. But 4 in 1 day for our Nolly Knows, who's about to jump on the show. Michael Ervelina in the house. Dan Kelly! There he is. Oh, our prayers have been answered. NBA is back, and Dan Kelly is in the chat. Lou Chase Fox says Angels were in another huge disappointment. Diamondbacks, another pen that got lit up. Yeah, I had D-backs. I faded D-backs. Sorry, I had Rangers first 5. There's Canascat, Paco Healy. Mr. Ghoster says Nolly Eaton. He sure is. Chris Kopech. Golf head-to-heads today. Look, I like it. Chris Kopech. Ron Lofton tailed Nolly last night. Good thing to do. Nick Allegretti. Dennis Garcia said Colorado got it done yesterday. Yeah, Aunt L had a good day. Aunt L was on Colorado full game. I was on the first 5, so I cashed that plus 120. TJ ready to get to work. There's Connor McLaughlin. Look at that. Got Seattle down 4-1. Runner on plus 850. Threw $40 on it. I love it. I love it. There's Jordan Nordman and now it's Jermel Wright back in action. Look at our guy Jermel Wright. Got to get that up on the screen. Man, we have not seen Jermel in too long. Where is it? Here we go. Jermel Wright. Reese in the house. Hustle Wilson. Jamal Karimi ready to go. Beautiful. A. Hilly. Jared Schrader. Jared Schrader's got action so far. Let's get Jared Schrader's action up on the screen. We got a lot of work to do. There's Dutch Boy Fresh. Feels like a motherfucking holiday, says Dutch Boy Fresh. I had to pull up my Vancouver Grizzlies hat. That's 25 years old, 30 years old. I don't even know. All righty. Time to get to work. Yes, Mark Rosado, Zion, as far as I know, is playing. He's in the shoot-around playing. Ryan C. says basketball's back. Series business back in action as well. DJ Big Boss in the house. Paddock over 5.5 Ks. Nice job, Paco. Johnny Cage, yeah. Sorry to hear that. I've just completely stayed away from the Giant favorites, and tough. And there's Razor Sharp Picks. Razor Sharp Picks will be going live with Mr. Longshot Chaser himself, Kevin Reed, and Boston Nick, a.k.a. Mr. Fat Fist. They're going to be live hammering the horses on Thursday night tonight, live here on Odds HQ. There's the Woj in the house. There's 2KJ in the house. Grim Reaper is now 2KJ. We'll take it. Nitty Foo. Ready to get to work. V. Barry. Okay, let's get after it because we got 10 MLB games we're going to break down. But first, let's go to the National Basketball Association. So I came down to Costa Rica 2017. That's when we started all capping together, on a daily basis. 2017, 2018, I finished double-digit units up in NBA. 2018, 2019, double-digit units up in NBA. And 2019, 2020, plus 5.77 units when the season shut down. 121 wins, 107 losses, plus 5.77 units. ROI plus 2.53%. Average line minus 108. So I got some work to do. And I'm going to take it pretty easy. There's Patrick Toby liking the Islanders and the Jets to move on. Got a lot of hockey to talk about tomorrow. Billy Brisbane in the house. MMA locker room. Back with Big Country. Bobby Lee Swagga. It's hard to talk. Who do you talk about with a smile on your face when you think of the Grizzlies? Blue Edwards, maybe? Maybe Blue? I don't know. Hard to find anybody to think of with a smile on your face. Heartbreak. Okay, let's get to work. Jazz, Pelicans. Very, very tricky. Hard to trust the pace that we were dealing with these teams through the regular season. And I'm not going to. I'm going to start by not trusting the pace numbers. I'm going to leave the totals alone a little bit. Walter Trotter, a.k.a. Wham Bam, is on the over in the Spurs game. And it makes a ton of sense. And that over is going up, and maybe I should smash it right now. But pace-wise, I'm a little uncomfortable. To make bets early in this year, in this bubble, you have to have a clear angle, like fading Brooklyn. But with these two games, it's tricky. Billy Brisbane says Pelicans lay the chalk. Jazz have nothing to play for. It doesn't matter if they end up in the 4th seed or the 5th seed. It really doesn't matter if they end up in the 3rd seed because the 6th seed is the Rockets. So it doesn't matter if they're 4th or 5th because home court means nothing. They're going to play OKC most likely. Ron Crawford is on the over. Bleds W. Pels first quarter. Zion was in the shoot-around. He's good to go. So Lonzo, Drew, Ingram, Williamson, Favors going up against Gobert, O'Neal, Slow-Mo Joe Ingles, Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley. Pelicans tied with Portland and Sacramento 3.5 games behind that 8th place Memphis in the West. Both teams were playing well before the suspension of the season. Whether that matters much, it's up to you. It was clear the Pelicans were a fast improving team with Zion getting more minutes. They'd won 8 of their last 13. Utah had won 5 of their last 6. Jazz won the season's first 2 meetings, but Jazz are a different team with Bogdanovich. The Pelicans and the Thunder are the only teams to win all of their scrimmages. Jazz were fine. They went 2-1. Dutch Boy Fresh says Pelicans are nothing. Antonio Garcia is on the Jazz plus 2.5. Sean Moser says Pels usually start off great, but so hard to tell in this restart to see where the teams and the guys are at. Brian Warner says Over's getting smashed. Billy says Pelicans are hungry. NBA is doing everything to get this team on the TV for playoff ratings. And Big Ragu in the house giving a shout out to Ron Crawford, this great spreadsheet action. He's on the Utah Pels over. Milo in the house, great to see you. Jermel writes, says Conley and Mitchell have chemistry issues. Well, does Donovan and Gobert have chemistry issues? They sure seem like they didn't like each other when we broke in March. Again, I'm going to go back to this because I'm not going to be making many bets in NBA to start it off. I need to have a clear angle. If we're talking that Conley is not comfortable or Mitchell and Conley don't roll together, which I'm not certain of, then who is going to have the ball in his hands? Slow Mo Joe, whom they all love. MMA Locker Room is on Ingram points, 22.5. Dennis Garcia says, if you wanted the over, should have taken a couple days ago, move too much. Under is the play. We've seen a 7-point move. It is starting to come back. Open at 220.5 at Bet 365. It's at 227 right now. It's not coming back. Jeez. Okay, so 20 minutes ago, it was down to 226.5, and it's now hammered back up to 227.5. Wow. Pelicans open up at -1.5. They got up to -3. They're still 3 at one book. They're 2 at most others. There's Antoine Seymour now. Joe Yurkovich. Dutch Boy Fresh has missed a number on the over, definitely. Connor McLaughlin agreeing with Dennis's look. Joe Yurkovich saying under seems logical given the time off. There's Antoine Seymour in the house. There's George Wood ready to get to work. So Zion back. Jazz have no Bojan Bogdanovic, 20.2 points per game. I mean, he did nothing else, but who's going to take those threes? Probably Slow-Mo Joe. So Joe is going to replace Bogdanovic. Joe was hitting 41. Bogdanovic was hitting 41.4. All right, so my first bet in over 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Slow-Mo Joe Ingles. There's Manny R in the house. Great to see you, Manny. Rich Kemp, Sammy Hammy. Sammy Hammy says need a good game to put 10K on. Big boy moves. Big boy bets for Sammy Hammy. I have $200 on the over 19.5 points per assists. DJ Big Boss took the over already. Took the over. DJ Big Boss not afraid of that market move. All right. And Ulysses Hayes back for NHL. I love it. Okay, let's move on to Clippers, Lakers. Market moves throughout. Bet365 opened this as a pick'em. It's now -5 for the Lakers, so it was -4 an hour ago, which means that AD is likely playing. This total dropped down to 217. It's now back up to 218. It did open at 218.5. And there's Ron Crawford dropping his spreadsheet action. Shout out to our Ron Crawford in the house. All right. So Davis got poked in his right eye during Saturday's scrimmage, but if it's 5, if it moves to 5, clearly he's in. George Wood is with it too. Jeff Joseph, I like by my standards a lot. I thought he got a bad ride last out. But Tom's the Tad is just the best. I think he's the best older dirt horse in the world. And it's his year. I like by my standards a lot. And With Tom Tat at 3-2, you're getting a nice number. But Tom's Tat. Now, I've got to do a better pace scenario, Jeff, and I'm going to have that locked down for tomorrow's show. But all right, let's keep rolling here. And I was looking back at the show yesterday. I saw that you asked about max security. It was just a strange trip and a difficult race to gauge, and certainly did not look very good. There's Danny Moore in the house. Okay, let's keep rolling. So, Lakers, Clippers. We'll start with the Lake Show. Dion Waiters, J.R. Smith replacing Bradley, and Rondo with the broken thumb. LeBron James has a right groin issue. I'm sure he's good to go. That's why it's at 5. Kyle Kuzma ankle issue. I'm sure he's good to go. DJ Big Boss, an interesting look on the Clippers. I can't back the Clippers here. So Lou Will says he went to that strip club to eat. I'll edit myself there. Montrezl Harrell out officially. Patrick Beverley, Landry, and Zubac could be available. Jeff, I'm going to do more works on it. I'm going to do some more work on it. I'm not going to be here for the Saturday show, but Bono, Ian Cameron will be hosting the Saturday show. Nitty Fu says, I think Joakim Noah is a good pickup for him. Look, Noah's, when he wants to play, he can still play. It's just, he just doesn't always seem to want to play. I do kind of like that pickup for them as well, especially with the possibilities of these Clippers not going to be in the lineup. Clippers won those first 2 meetings, then Lakers came back and won 112-103 right before everything stopped. This is an exhibition game that will be watched by a lot of people. Connor McLaughlin says Lakers are passing. I'm going to pass at 5. Michael Overleen is right, but I'm going to pass at 5. Yes, Patrick Toby, and yes, Ian Cameron will be a hammer. You're going to get looks from all the NHL series, from myself on Friday and from Babano on Saturday. Look at Michael Irvelina. I agree. It's like Connor Mack said. It's Lakers are nothing, but when that -2 is sitting there all week, then a 3 and a 4, and now it's 5. My only move to start NBA back in action. Slow-mo Joe. Yes, as far as we know, Zion is playing. All right, so I'm on Slow-mo Joe. If Viper hits his over 10.5 points, I will very, very likely hit my over 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So Viper, it's you and me, baby. Slow-mo Joe. God, he looks so bad out there. He's pretty smooth. He's pretty smooth, but he looks bad out there at times. Rob T says Paul George points prop seems a safe play. Again, what if the Lakers are up comfortably going into the 4th? Let's just take a quick look at the prop market for the Lakers-Clippers game. That would keep me off of it. That would keep me off. And Paul George at 22.5. It's -140 to the over, so I'm going to stay off that. Kawhi's at 26.5. LeBron at 24.5. AD at 23.5. Wow. Okay, so that's Dennis Garcia says that the 2 unders he prefers it'd be the Lakers Clippers. Von Polo, great call. And there were people that were listening to you. And I wonder if you know what? If I had a free play to make on the total of Lakers Clippers, I'm with Dennis. I would take the under, but I gotta watch. Gotta get an idea of pace. Pace is gonna be tricky. All right, Slow-mo Joe. And we get back plus 5.77 units. Also, not only am I plus 5.77 units, but I was looking at the end of the I had lost. Okay, here, sorry. I'd lost 7 of 9. So I was double-digit units, and I just Tim Montana. I use the odds from Bet365. But I've had a local for a long time. All right, let's get to work. It's now time to talk MLB. And we can talk more about that, the positives and negatives. The guys who've rolled with me for a long time know that I have a 25% in-out every Friday, which allows me to bet out of my tax bracket. And it just takes some of the pressure off and allows me to make, just bet out of my tax bracket. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. Dutch Boy Fresh says Mavs -1 Friday look. Lou Chase Fox says Jays. Okay. It's time to talk MLB. We are 14-11, plus 2.47 units, ROI plus 9.88%. Average line now in the negatives, -101. 3-3 yesterday, down 0.74 units. Awful. I thought we were on our way to a giant day. And we cash Rockies first 5 plus 120. We cash Rangers first 5 minus 130. We cash White Sox minus 115. Clearly, I keep making a mistake with these Houston overs. And then Mets -1. And then Padres -1. Ugh. So it was disappointing. The only action I've locked in so far is Mets -1. I'm going right back at it. Right back at it. Let's bring on our special guest coming off a 4-1 night, a taint hair away from a 5-0 night. Let's bring him on right now. Please welcome to the show, Nolly Knows in the house. What up, Nolly?
Hey, what's going on, Jimmy? Yeah, had a great run yesterday. Actually, 4-0-1. We got a push on that Angel game. I felt like I should have got it. Yeah, but yeah, it was a push. I got the 5 and they ended at 5. But I mean, what really made me mad, you look at Ohtani hits that home run. The Angels are sitting with 3 runs with 1 hit. Air puts Trout on. They walk Rendon. That's what I'm bitter about. But I guess that's the greed in me. I can't complain. 4-0-1, great day. Let's hope we keep it going today.
It was a great day. My fault. My fault for saying 4-1. Yeah, my fault. Beautiful though. Okay. Beautiful and great. Those first 4 that you cashed easily, too. There were no sweating with those. Great stuff. All right, let's get to work right now. Nolly Knows. We're going to break down all 10 games on this MLB card, and we're going to go in order. So we are going to start with the Nationals Blue Jays. Nationals Blue Jays. Nationals 2-4, 1-0 away, but they've not been away. This is a home game, even though they bat first. Ron Lofton says making first 5's great again. The Woj says making unders great again. Nolly. Leo Leon says I'm so tempted to jump back on the San Diego Padres. Not sure yet. I'm very tempted to do the same. Cash Action Jets is on these Jays. 91 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 6 miles per hour, out to straightaway center. I thought Fedde looked very good in that first start against the Yanks, but he didn't know he was pitching. It was a late adjustment. Now he's had all week to think about pitching. The thing is that these Nationals smash lefties. So far this year, they're batting 400 with 1.178 OPS. And I think that I don't know what we're going to get from Hyun-Jin Ryu. I guess that's it. I don't know what we're going to get from Ryu. And it's enough for me to be hesitant here. Let's take a look at the market moves, and then let's hand it over to our Nolly Knows and see how he's going to be delivering the goods here. At Bet365 opens up at -130. There's been a 25-cent move to the Jays. And that makes the Nationals more and more appealing. More and more appealing. Let's take a look at the totals. As we know, Nolly's master of unders opens at 9, gets to 9.5, still at 9 at one book. Nolly Knows. Take it away. Nationals, Blue Jays.
All right. Very interesting game here. Like you said, Washington on the road, but technically at home. Got the homeless Blue Jays. But, Yeah, He looked good against the Yankees. It was a surprise start, scratch for Strasburg, and here again, Strasburg's not back yet, so they're going to throw him out again. But I lack a lot of confidence in him, as do the Nationals. This is the guy in late March that was actually sent down to the minors. So if we're talking a regular 162 game, this guy's not even on the roster. The reason that he ended up getting on the roster, Joe Ross opts out due to the virus, and that's why he got the opportunity to even compete for the 5th spot. Doesn't even make that. He doesn't make the 5th spot. Was going to be sent down to the was going to be in the bullpen until the Strasburg start. So this is a guy that I'm not very confident in. This is a career 5.3 ERA, 1.55 WHIP. He's got 105 Ks and 147 innings. A guy that was an 18th pick overall, but never really panned out. And this kind of like I don't know if it's like a last really opportunity, because you got a lot of guys coming behind you, and he needs to step up. But I have zero faith in him, as was Washington. And on the other side, you got Ryu. Yeah, Ryu struggled a little bit towards the end of his outing. In the beginning, he looked very strong. He had the changeup working, and he doesn't look all that bad. In an interview after the game, he talks about it. He says, I was the weak link. And he feels that confidence. He feels a lot of confidence with his bats, because they were able to pick him up and still pull out that victory for him. And to have that confidence going out there, I expect the Ryu to have a bounce back day. This is a spot that I'm still still undecisive about. Maybe if we sit here and talk about it a little bit, or I bounce some ideas off the chat, I can come up with a pick. But I'm not trusting the under. I would really lean Toronto first 5. I think the pitching advantage is definitely on that side. But my one concern is, like you said, the way that these Nationals have been hitting lefties. That's a cause for concern. And right now I'm a bit undecisive, and I don't have a definite edge. So right now I'm off this game right now.
I'm off this game as well. You got an extra day of rest for Ryu. This isn't a flash in the pan the way Nationals hit lefties. I like backing pitchers in Fetty's situation when they don't have time to prepare for their start. Now he's had a whole week to think about how important this start is. Against the Yankees, he looked good. 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, 1 walk. But Nolly brought up this K to walk ratio. It's atrocious. So last year, 78 innings, 41 Ks, 33 walks. And that's just not at a major league level. Jays are having a problem with righties, but they've faced some nasty ones so far this year. And Ryu crushes the Nationals historically. 2-1, 1.35 ERA in 5 career starts against the Nationals. 1.37 ERA in 3 starts against the Nationals last season, including Game 3 of the NLDS. Jays still without Bo Bichette. They're still without Grichuk. Fetty's never never gone up against the Jays. This is a pass for me. It's just a pass. I can understand people being bullish on the Jays, especially early in this game, but you would have had to have got in last night and not after a 25-cent move. So for me, Nolly, this is a no move, no play, no bet. Are you going to stay off as well at this point?
Yeah, at this point I am. I don't like seeing the movement towards Toronto, because if I do decide to jump on, I'll get the ass end of it. But yeah, I'm staying off at this point.
Soto, Leo Leon said, I heard Soto might be back. This is the story with Soto, is that he could be able to work out with the team on Saturday, but he still needs approval from the Department of Health, the DC Department of Health. So don't expect him in the lineup here. Okay, let's move on to Cubs, Reds, and okay, Nolly, what? Let's just first off talk about a little bit of a gambling issue. When you see a market move going against you, how much does that affect?
Not a lot. To be honest, if I feel I have a definite edge, I trust myself over everyone. And the reason is not just that. If I jump off and on my bets based on the market moves, I feel I need to stick to one side. If I'm going to jump off of it, I need to jump off of it every time. If that's the case. But if I'm going to ride, I'm going to ride every time. And that's the way I look at it. No jumping back and forth. So my decision, I trust myself and try to be a little confident, borderline cocky. I think that's what you need in the gambling. And yeah, I just stick to what I know. And if I get a better number, no cause for concern, unless it's a huge jump. I start thinking, I start digging a little deeper. But I try to stick to my guns, Jimmy.
I like hearing that. JL says, love Castillo first 5. Now, money's coming back in on the Reds. So there had been a big move on the Cubs. Money's coming back in on the Reds. Now, I don't even know if this game plays. I don't know if you guys have – let's see what Roto is saying about this game. See if they think this game will play. At this point, it's possible that there is no game. Are you expecting there to be a game here at in Cincy?
From what I understand, there is a lot of doubt. But I mean, I'm breaking it down as if there's a game. If there's no game, then it is what it is. But I always break it down as if there's a game. I don't try to let weather. Like if there's gonna be a rain out, I try to stick to it. It does suck though. Like rain delays are brutal. It does suck for a starting pitcher, but I try not to let the things that I can't control affect my capping.
Well, I think it's going to keep me off of it. But I would like to bet on Castillo. But when there's delays, as Nolly was talking about, makes me hesitant. Let's cap this game right now. But 73 Fahrenheit, rain. There's Ty Clinton in the house. Glenn Elliott, man. Ben Sports 24/7. Yu Darvish did not look good in his first start. He says he feels 100% strength. He says he's got so many pitches, and they're just not all rolling right now. So he says he's fine. We'll see. Castillo looked awesome. He deserved to get the win in his first start. 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 11 Ks. There's Shears man in the house. 1 walk. And Gerald Jones saying AD in for the Lakers. Like, oh, that's what we thought when we saw the move to 5, that the AD was going to be good to go. Cubs are not hitting righties very well so far this year. 208, 722 OPS. Reds are hitting righties. Not with a high average, 230, but 825 OPS. Cincinnati had lost 4 in a row before that big breakout 12-7 win. Why did it happen? Because Moustakas was back. Castellanos hit a grand slam. I think this team can get together. The Cubs are a dangerous team to mess with. Their offense is rolling. It's their bullpen that looks atrocious. 9.64 ERA, 20 walks already. I guess the weather's going to keep me off this. Stefan Walton, we open with that. We open with NBA. And my only move there is Slow-Mo Joe Ingles over 19.3 on fifth. What was your plan before the rain became an issue here, Cubs, Reds?
Really, I was leaning towards Cincinnati. You look at this pitching advantage, I think it's a huge advantage towards Cincinnati. And not just that, like you said, you bring back Moustakas and Senzel, and they both come back and they homer in their first game. And the biggest thing is their big acquisition in Nick Castellanos. He goes deep. He goes deep for that grand slam. And not to mention that bogus triple play could have led to a lot more runs. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was bases loaded. Chris Bryant dives to the right. Clearly the ball hits the ground. Chris Bryant sitting here telling, I don't know. If you say I don't know, that means you didn't catch it. And so it could have been a lot worse. Like you said, that bullpen for the Cubs has been atrocious. Every guy's giving it up. It's not just Kimbrel. It's every guy. And it was like that towards the end of the year last year. It's not really a surprise. So when I look at this game still, in a lot of these games, I'm still attacking the first 5, and that's where I'm going to try to isolate it. Luis Castillo has been phenomenal. He looked very good in his first start, and he pitches slightly better at home as well. 3.15 ERA as opposed to 3.88 on the road. And against these Chicago Cubs, he fared pretty well in 4 games against them. 2-1 with a 3.24 ERA, held him to a 2.07 batting average. And you look at some of these stats with these guys, he's holding some of the big names down in check, and that's why he's able to have success. It does not look like this game will be played, so I might not be taking action. I'm not sure, but I'm leaning Reds first 5. That's the way to take it. It seems like these bats are going to wake up. The pitching has been phenomenal. It's been ridiculous how good they are. They just haven't been able to win because of the bats. I think they continue to roll if the game is played, especially against Yu Darvish. Like you said, he did not look good in 5 games against the Reds last year. He had a 4.6 ERA, 7 home runs in 31 innings pitched. He's getting touched, and he had a great career in Texas, and he's still overall numbers are not that bad, but not the same guy anymore. And I can't back him at all.
Yeah, Top set. I don't think this game's going to be played, And the problem with taking even the Cubs team total under is if they do start on time, if the rains come in and shut it down, you only get Castillo for 2 or 3 innings. Or what happens if the game's pushed 2 or 3 hours and Castillo's sitting there waiting. Looks like it's going to be a no bet for me, but I was going to make a move on Castillo. And there's Nut Flush Jr. in the house. Great to see you. Sorry that all this is going on outside, man. Nut Flush Jr., an elite athlete, baseball player, and hope that you and your dad are getting in the backyard and throwing the ball around and hitting the cage. But we send you energy. We're going to live vicariously through your baseball career, Nut Flush Jr. Okay, let's keep rolling along. Next up, we have Yankees, Orioles. 91 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour out to left. Season debuts for Happ and Means. We've already seen Big Ragu taking Orioles first 5. I believe he got like a plus 165. Someone in the chat, it's just my peripheral, but I saw somebody making a move also on the Orioles. I wish I could find it. Someone also making a move on the Orioles plus a half. Trying to find it here quickly. All right. Let's keep rolling. Season debuts for Means and Happ. So Means was dealing with arm fatigue. Looks like arm fatigue. Happ came on late in the year. He didn't start strong. So far this year, the Yankees aren't hitting lefties. I mean, I'm sure that will change. But right now, they're hitting – it's very small sample size. Maybe not even worth mentioning. 160, 472 OPS. Orioles hit lefties well last year, much better than they hit righties. And they've started out the year with a high average but a low OPS. DJ Big Boss giving love to Ragu for the plus 165. V. Barry says, can you trust Means with the tired arm syndrome? Glenn Elliott Man says Yankees spanked the Orioles 9-3 yesterday. They've now won 17 straight over the Orioles. Means was touched by the Yankees last year, 1-2, 7.62 ERA in 5 games, 2 starts. Happ had his rotation skipped with the scrap Phillies series, 3.60 in 25 appearances against the Orioles. And this is an Orioles team that now we don't know if Davis has COVID. They're not talking about it, but he's not there. And Jose Iglesias he's achiness is what they're calling it. Full body achiness. Who knows? But when you take players out of this Orioles lineup, it looks awful quickly. Another situation only where we have a huge favorite, and if you wanted it, you should have got in early because it opened at minus 195 at Bet365. It's now minus 245, so a 50-cent move towards the Yankees. This total opened up at 10. It's now at 11. Nolly knows. What do we do?
This is a very interesting game here. Like you said, Jay Happ making his season debut against the Orioles. And this is a team that hit him very hard in 2019. He had 5 starts against the O's. He had an ERA of 6.85 and 22 in the third innings, and giving up 7 home runs, most against any other opponent. And I don't know if you guys remember this series last year. Seemed like every time that they were playing, these games were flying over. And that's honestly the way I'm looking at this game, because on the other side you have Means, and Means was the lone bright spot for the Orioles. He made the All-Star team as a rookie, and he pitched fairly well. And it's a surprise because he didn't even know if he was going to be on the roster. But he ends up making it, has a solid year. But now with this fatigue, it's a cause for concern. And not just that, when you look at his numbers against these Yankees, he had 5 games pitched. He went 1-2 with a 7.62 ERA. He gave up 11 earned runs in just 13 innings. They obviously see the ball well against him. And especially, like you said, the arm fatigue, I don't expect him to go very deep. And so the only way I'm looking at this game would be the over. That's not really my style, but I think this game gets over the number.
It's moved from 10 all the way to 11. Would you still make a move even after that full run market move?
Oh, I wouldn't make a move on the over, period. But I don't like betting overs, Jimmy. It's not enough for me to take it. I don't see enough value as an under better. It takes a lot for me to try to take an over, but that's the only way I see this game going. And 11 with these two, it might get there, Jimmy. I don't know. Take a look at those scores last year. You're getting in the 18s and 20s in a lot of those games, especially in Baltimore.
Orioles over 3.5 is an interesting look. It's moved to 4.5. Bet 365. You get plus 115 for the over 4.5. Nutflush Jr. says, when I think Baltimore, I think of Jimmy burning money. Yeah. I think you can say that about most teams in Major League Baseball.
That's the pass, Jimmy. That's the pass. It's all right.
Hey, we're up units so far this year. Let's focus on the present. This is a stay off spot for me. Just a stay off spot for me. I wish I could make a move, but I can't. Ado Azur, if you can still get Pelicans Jazz at over 220, what are you paying for that? Because it's up to 227 now. And if you're going to pay a ton for that, I don't know. I'd be very curious to see what you're paying for the 220. Okay, so Yankees, Orioles, I've been staying away from this situation. I understand that, and I was actually looking at this Orioles lineup, and take Chris Davis out of it, it looks better. So, and Iglesias is in the lineup, the expected lineup. Alberto Hayes, Nunez, Santander, Severino, Iglesias, Smith, Vasquez, Stewart. Got to get on these market moves early, and so no move for me there. Let's go to Indians Twins. I really want to hear your thoughts on this game because you've taken advantage of Jose Berrios' strong start to his career often, and Shane Bieber looked excellent. 14 Ks, 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned runs in his first start. Target field, 80 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour in. The Indians aren't hitting righties. The Twins are smashing righties. So Twins, 325, 1.049 OPS. First righties in 2020, 2019, 816 OPS. So just more of the same. In 2020, the Indians are hitting 636 OPS first righties. They're just not hitting them. Bieber, 4th in American League Cy Young Award voting in 2019. He looks extremely good. First Major League pitcher to strike out at least 14 batters in the first game of the year since Randy Johnson in 96. 3-0, 4.14 ERA against the Twins. 1-0, 4.71 ERA at Target Field. And Berrios did not look good in his first start. Very interested. I know he always looks good at home, but I'm very interested to hear how you're going to use Berrios. 2-0, 2.55 ERA in 4 starts against the Indians last year. And I'm very curious to hear how you are handling this. Indians, Twinkies, are you making a move, Nolly?
Yeah, this is a game that I was definitely interested right when I seen it off the bat. You got on one side, you got for the Cleveland Indians, you got Shane Bieber. And when Shane Bieber's on the mound, he's going to give you a quality start each and every time. It's a Southern California kid that I like to follow. I follow a lot of Southern California players. And he looked really well last year. He had a 3.28 ERA with a 1.05 whip. And he set the tone right off the gate coming out in his first start of the year, allowing just 4 hits with 14 strikeouts in just 6 innings against the Royals. That's a club record for most strikeouts in opening day. He looked really good. He was getting that first pitch strike, throwing a lot of strikes, and I expect his success to continue here against Minnesota. I understand their stats look great against the right-handed pitchers, but let's remember they didn't go against this pitcher. And I'll reiterate it time and time again. Good pitching beats good hitting any day. And if you don't have good pitching, you're not going to make it. You look at the Angels last night. Why weren't they able to win after scoring 7 runs? No pitching. You're not going to win ball games like that. So Shane Bieber, I expect him to come in and pitch very well. He did good against these Twins last year. 4 starts, 3.86 ERA, and the majority of them all quality starts. It was one start. We gave up 4 earned runs, and the rest were all quality starts. And on the other side, you got Berrios. There's no secret how I feel about him. I'm big on him, and he had a tough outing against the White Sox. It was a bit of a weird game. Giolito kind of gave it up early as well, and but you seen what he was able to do in his last start yesterday, and he was able to pitch well. And I expect the same bounce back here from Berrios, who's had a great career against these Indians, and these Indians bats aren't really scaring me right now. They tend to always start slow. That's a team that I always have circled for unders early in the season, and they continue it here. They have a few good bats, but you see they're not putting up more than 4 runs. And here against Berrios, who was able to shut them down pretty much last year, 7 2/3, 0 runs, 6 innings, 1 run, 5 innings, 3 runs, 6 innings, 3 runs. So he's had success against this Cleveland team, and that's where I'm going to focus on these on these pitchers, and I'm going to take that first 5 under 4.5. This is the game that I really like. This is the one I have circled, exclamation mark, all that good stuff.
Makes sense. First 5 under. Dennis Garcia's on the full game under. This first 5 under. Wow, interesting. So some moves towards the over, very little. 5-cent move to over the 4.5.
Keep going.
Interesting. Zippy like Zipper says Joe Kelly is an American hero. I love it. And he's going to be in the lineup today. He's fighting his case. Jigga 909 in the house. Great to see you. Reese on the Indians money line. This makes sense. I know that the Twins are so dangerous, and I'm sure Bieber will come back to earth a little bit. But I mean, if he can get us through some of this, here's Dommy Gunn in the house. Dom Reach coming off another winning night as well in MLB as always. Nairobi Pittman in the house. Tijuana Raff ready to get to work. All right, that first 5 under makes sense to me. I'm not going to confirm that I'm going to lock it in yet, but it makes a ton of sense. MMA locker room, 6.5 strikeouts for Bieber. Wow, after 14. Let me see what that is at my book here. Bieber strikeouts. Are you hitting much of those strikeout props, Nolly?
Not really an angle that I really go for. The only one I bet all season was Robbie Ray against San Diego, and it snuck over, so I just said I'll take my money and run. But that is an interesting bet. Here you got in his 4 starts last year, he reached over 6.5 in all but 1 start. That I like the look.
Yeah, makes a ton of sense. Gas Station Sushi Max betting King Spurs first half over, and I'm going to put the video in the link. That's a Wham Bam full game over. Gas Station Max betting first half over. Note taken. Very interesting look. Sean Mosler loving that. Very, 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 very interesting. Look, okay. The over 6.5, Nolly, is at plus 110. Over 6.5 Ks for Bieber.
Yeah, I'll definitely endorse that. I like that.
Plus 110. Why do you think they would hang that after he gets 14 strikeouts in his first game of the year?
Honestly, I just think it's overreaction going against this Minnesota Twins lineup, being that they hit the righties hard, but overreaction, good pitching over good hitting. I'll take it every time.
Plus 110. And that's just – I'm just sitting here shocked that they'd give us a plus 110. MMA locker room's been all over those strikeout props. Plus 110? They're going to give us a plus 110 after he goes for 14 Ks. Okay. Well, I'm going to lock that in. There's Word in the house. Great to see you. I know William McKinnon said it's just shocking. I'm just shocked. Sorry, I can't just sit here dumbfounded. But 14 Ks, and they're going to give us over 6.5 at plus 110. Patrick Toby says regression to the mean. Sure. MMA locker room got plus 125 on it. Okay.
But even at half of them, he's had at least 7 Ks. You got 7 Ks, 9 Ks, 11 Ks, and one time 4 Ks. So 75% there.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to make a move on that. We'll see what it is, if I can still get that plus 110. Dom Ricci now has had a great NHL show last night with Josh Poinot and Babano, Ian Cameron for the BetWise Sports. So a great, great show, Dommy Gunn. And that can be checked out on the BetWise Sports YouTube page. Sorry. I'm just sitting here humming along. Okay, I'm going to get on that strikeout prop. I better get a plus line when I bet it, or I'm going to be so upset that it's gone down. And then the first 5 under 4.5, it makes sense to me. Barrios to come back after that first start. 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. He got 1 strikeout. Joe Yurkovich says umpire, Jimmy. Exactly. Good point, Joe. Great point. is anybody, while we're going through these games, can anybody in the chat take a look at who's umping this Twins-Indians game? Okay, let's keep rolling. We got Nolly Knows in the house, fresh off a 4-0-1 night of unders. Red Sox, Mets. Now, I told everyone I thought Martin Perez was going to get touched badly in that first game, and he was horrible. And when I looked at his line, I watched him. I was like, this guy's terrible. But his line isn't that bad. 4 earned runs in 5 innings. That's pretty much what I think he'll do here again. And I trust Steve Matz coming off a really nice start. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, 1 walk. Red Sox, Mets, 89 Fahrenheit, overcast, 8 miles per hour sideways. And I went right back to the well. I went right back to the fade the Boston Red Sox. It doesn't matter that I lost yesterday. I mean, you're not going to win every one of these. I'm going right back to the well. Now it hurt because I got minus 149 on that -1. I'm getting much better today, minus 114 on the -1, and I'm backing Mets. I'm backing the Mets, who hit lefties hard. Red Sox hit lefties hard as well. But if the Mets relievers weren't so terrible, they'd be 5-1 right now. And I do not trust Martin Perez, even if his numbers are okay against the Mets in his history. He got slammed by the Orioles. He got touched by the Orioles. So I'm on the Mets -1. Nolly Knows, Red Sox, Mets.
Yeah, interesting. 2 lefties going at it here. Like you said, Martin Perez not looking good. His K to walk ratio, another bad sign for this guy. And the lefty, he had a tough debut. He gave up 5 runs in 4 innings. And yeah, he's had some good success in Citi Field. 1-0 with a 3.6 ERA, but not a lot of that is recent. He does own Robinson Cano. Robinson Cano in 39 at-bats is batting 179 against him, and he does not look good lately. Conforto also owned by this guy, but I don't like him. There's not a lot that I'm going to be backing with Perez. He doesn't look good, lacks confidence. The team seems to lack confidence. Their bats were able to wake up a little bit yesterday against this Mets bullpen, which seems to be a lot of deja vu from years past. DeGrom, another solid outing, and they end up losing the game. They blow it. That's happened to me time and time again with them, and that's a big concern. And then on the other side, you got Matz. Matz looked really good in his first outing. He was working a lot on his curveball, but he went back to his changeup, and it worked. He looked very good. It's not necessarily a surprise. The guy's better than average, and he'll string good starts together. I've seen it, and I think he comes out and has a solid outing. The only thing is, I like the Mets, and I like them in this spot the way that they lost yesterday. The only problem is, it's hard for me to trust that bullpen. I might be looking at the Mets on the first 5. The only problem is, I might have to lay the half. That's why I'm still debating the game. But for me, the under guy, I'm not touching this under right now. Too many runs in Boston games.
Agreed. And Michael Irvelina makes a great point. He says, where did I lost it here? He was saying just take first 5s, leave the bullpens out of it. You know what? I don't care how bad the Mets had their worst bullpen season in the club's history last year. I don't care how bad they look to start the year this year. They're better than the Red Sox bullpen. So, a ton of volatility, sure, but I'm going to stick. I don't mind full gaming this at all, and I'm going to do it. So I got -1, -114. It's my only MLB play locked in.
I like that. I like that angle, Jimmy, because of the fact I don't expect Perez to go more than 5 innings. Can he? Yeah, sure, but I don't expect him to go more than 5. So 4 innings of Boston bullpen. I like the angle, Jimmy. I like it.
Yeah, it's and I'm almost. I want to talk. I want to hear your breakdown of Dinelson Lamet before I go back to the well with the Padres. But in baseball, you have to pump your brakes. These big dogs cash, and we've seen it all season. It was the first 2 days, it was all favorites, and then the next 2 days, it was all dogs. So Red Sox win, Giants win. It's not going to scare me. Just go right back to the well. Ulysses Hayes is a Mets fan. He says you got to know when to fade your team, and he's on the Red Sox today. Rod Zawacki in the house. His max bet, 10-star bet, is on the Dodgers -1.5, but he's also on the Padres -1.5. Okay, let's keep rolling here. I can't wait to talk about this game. 2 excellent young lefties, and I'm going to be backing Yarbrough. and the Rays. First 5, I expect, but I do want to talk it out. I have not bet it yet. He looked excellent in his first start. He always pitches to Jays well, but he's just this quality pitcher. 5 in the third, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 K. Last year, went 11-6, 4.13 ERA, 1 WHIP, 117 Ks to 20 walks. Now, Fried could be very dangerous this year, and we saw that. I'm very curious to hear what you think of Max. We saw that in his first start. He looked good. 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks. Rays are hitting lefties very hard this year. 260, 887 OPS, much harder than they were hitting last year. Braves are not hitting lefties at all. 176 average, 552 OPS. Yarbrough goes 5 in the third scoreless against the Jays. He looks great. He's allowed 2 or fewer walks in 18 consecutive starts since June 11th, 2018, third longest streak in club history. He's made 1 career appearance against the Braves. I don't even think I don't care what happened in 1 start in 2018. This is a much improved pitcher. Fried looked good in that 5-3 win over the Mets. Didn't surrender a hit until the 5th inning, making his first career appearance against Tampa. 3-0, 2.55 ERA in interleague starts. And the Braves have learned that Nick Markakis will rejoin the team. He came to his senses about, I shouldn't say came to his senses. Everybody can make different decisions however they want with what's happening outside. But I like that he came back to the team. Rays first 5 is what I want to do. I want to back Yarbrough, and I like the additions to the Braves pen. I'm not sure what to make of the Rays pen thus far. Nolly Knows, take it away. Rays, Braves.
Rays, Braves, yeah. Right away, I'm really excited about this young pitching matchup. You got 2 youngsters coming in and rising quickly in the league. Yarbrough, like you said, he's got great command, and that's what sets him apart from a lot of these pitchers. And he's had a lot of outings where he goes 0 earned runs and 0 run support with no decision. It's something that's a bit common in baseball. When these aces settle in, the bats go cold on the other side as well. I'm a big fan of Yarbrough. He gets second start here against the Braves, and he looked good against the Blue Jays, and I expect him to continue his success here against these Braves. Their bats did wake up a little bit more yesterday. You got Freddie Freeman finally put some hits together, and that's the main guy over there. He's the team captain, so they go as he goes. So if he's able to get going, they might be a little bit scarier, but again, better pitching is going to beat that. And on the other side, Max Fried, and I'm really high on this guy. I really like him a lot. I expect a big breakout year for him. He's 26 years old, coming into the prime of his life, and I expect him to do well. Like you said, he didn't give up a run, then gives up a double and a triple up until the 5th inning. The kid, he's learning his command. He's learning his role a lot better. These Atlanta bats don't have a lot of success against them. They haven't seen them too much. And the same thing on the other side. Not a lot of familiarity with these pitchers. So to me, the advantage goes to these youngsters. I see them having success, and I see that total climbing up, and that's when I jumped on it. When that thing got to 5 in that first 5, I jumped on that under. So I'm taking the first 5 under 5 here. I expect these youngsters to come in and pitch well. The Rays bats are a little bit better, though. The Rays bats are putting a lot of hits together, and to me, a big bullpen advantage to Tampa Bay.
So in that case, you think there's no point. Great job, Dom. Got that 5. Top Set's going to still take it to 4.5. I'm not going to do that.
Did it go back down?
It's down to 4.5 across the board. If I miss a market move, I'm just going to let that go. But great job, Dom.
Well, it was at 4.5 and went up. It's been going. So if you want to just keep an eye on that. I expect some people to take the over, but I mean, I really like that under as well. Not as much as the other one, but I like it.
I think it's a great under. I think it's a great under that you guys are on. Great under. So, it's okay. So do you feel like it makes no sense to only take the Rays first 5 rather than full game? And just before you answer that question, big shout out to our guy Michael Irvelina. Says, hey Jimmy, if you get a chance, give a shout out to my buddy James Gray, first time watcher. I'm tuning into the show, trying to make him a low bagger. James Gray, what's happening? Any friend of Michael Irvelina is a friend of ours. Thank you for watching. Nolly, is it make no sense to only take the Rays first 5?
I don't see necessarily like a big pitching advantage to try to isolate those pitchers. I feel they're right there on each other's level. I wouldn't see an advantage. I see the advantage in the second half of the game. I would say full game would be better than than the first 5.
I thought the Braves made some really nice additions to their bullpen. You know, they put $40 million on. But you still think the Rays bullpen is stronger?
Yeah, especially the way that they're able to manage the bullpen. You know, they've changed the game. The people don't realize how they changed it. You got a lot of these guys where they're starting closers and they're starting relievers. Tampa Bay started that. A lot of the things that they're reinventing the game. They're finding ways to win these ball games, and everybody's on a short leash. Doesn't matter who you are, you're on a short leash. And I like the way they manage their bullpen as well.
I mean, really, I'm hesitant to do any kind of double ups and continued with that. Shout out to Guillermo Zertucci in the house. Jermel writes, "It's feel good to watch again. Jimmy, truly missed this. And the Low Bagger fam. Love having you, Jermel, right?" And TJ says, "My first time watching was yesterday. I'm back today. Awesome show. Much love, TJ." I don't want to double up. And maybe it's a vividness bias of I clearly have a vividness bias of watching Yarbrough shut down the Jays time and time again. And that's what's going on. There's AP Indy in the house. Great to see you. And Maxwell Smart says you like the show better when it's college basketball season. Max, we need you when college basketball comes around, my man. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to need some time to sit here while we break down the other games and decide what to do because I'm not going to double up on this spot. All right, let's keep moving. Next up, Royals, Tigers. So funny. So watching this game yesterday, I was like, man, I knew the Royals were to play. Of course, they lose 5-4 in the end. So it's just good to stay away from these shit teams. And Al talked about how the Tigers have value. Every time he puts them, crunches their numbers, he's like, Tigers have value. Tigers have value. Cash Action Bets is on the Royals. Now, I can't wait to hear Nolly studies these young pitchers all year long. Now we got Brady Singer, who looked very good in his first start. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks, 2 walks, 80 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 9 miles per hour, sideways right across the diamond, going up against the journeyman Ivan Nova. Royals are not hitting righties, 207, 669 OPS. Tigers aren't hitting righties either, 212, 729 OPS. And Singer looked good against the Indians. He retired 8 of his last 9, number 2 prospect in the organization. And Nova looked, 1 year, $1.5 million contract. That's what he gave him. Last year, he allowed an American League high 225 hits. He never pitches well at Comerica Park, and now he plays for them. But in saying all that, I don't think that this is a jump on the Royals right away spot. And let's just go quickly to full game money lines and totals here at Bet365. They opened these Royals opened at minus 105. They're now minus 135. A 30-cent move towards them. And this total opened up at 10. It's still at 10. Nolly Knows, what do you think of this young kid, Brady Singer, and how are you handling this game?
Yeah, this is a guy in Brady Singer who looked really good against that Cleveland team. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks and 2 walks. Had a good presence about him. That's the one thing that I look for with these starters, with these young starters. You look at Pearson yesterday, the guy belongs there. He even said it. He said it, but you can see it. And similar presence here with Singer, another big guy. And the big thing here is that interesting story. The Detroit Tigers were actually supposed to pick him. They were looking at him and another pitcher for first overall. And all indications were pointing at Singer to go 1 overall. And the other guy on the other side, he was able to battle him twice and was able to come out with the edge, pitch better games, and the Tigers still went with the other guy. To me, that creates a chip. He didn't want to admit it, but I think he comes out with a chip and really wants this win because he wanted to be number 1 overall. Who doesn't, And on the other side, like you said, you got veteran Ivan Nova, who in 2019, in 4 games pitched against these Royals, he went 2-0 with a 3.3 ERA. He given up 6 runs in his first outing, but his other 3 after that were solid. He went 8 innings, 5 hits, 0 runs. Then he goes 5 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, and then 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. So to me, he's kind of got their number, and being that they're having a little struggle hitting against these righties on both sides of this. I understand the Royals have put up some numbers, but not against these right-handers, and might not be the sexiest pick on the board, but I'm looking at the first 5 under 5 here in this game as well.
Interesting, because that total, I believe at one point you could even got it higher. Let me just double check and make sure. Sorry, first 5. Yeah, it actually opened at 6. So it's at 5.5 right now. It's a very interesting take on Nova. Ulysses Hayes is on the under in this game. Fathead in the house. Fathead says, I like that first 5, Nolly. 6. That's a sneaky play. Very, very, very sneaky. Vincent, yeah, we opened with NBA. Ooh, that is a sneaky play. Let's just take a look at these lineups quickly. Expected lineups. So Merrifield hitting. Adalberto Mondesi, future All-Star, expect. Merrifield, Mondesi, Soler, Perez, Gordon, O'Hearn, Franco, Lopez, Starling. For the Tigers, Goodrum, Scope, Cabrera, Cron, Stewart, Candelario, Maben, Romine, Jacoby Jones. Jacoby Jones eating right now, by the way. 3 homers, first 6 games. Looking very, very strong. Beautiful Murder. Thank you for joining us, my friend. And TJ says, yeah, I have first 5 under 5.5 and minus 105. Nova scares the shit out of me, and putting my money online. It's a very, very, very interesting look. I'm just going to leave it here on my notes, but I'm not going to lock that in at this point. Sideways across the diamond. 9 miles per hour wind. All right, let's move on to Dodgers, Diamondbacks. Robbie Ray versus Ross Stripling. Stripling looked good in his first start, and I don't really believe in him, but he's another guy who seems to wear down as the year goes on. First start, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, 0 walks. Roof's going to be closed in Arizona. Going up against Robbie Ray. First start, he did not look good. 3 earned runs, 4 hits, 7 Ks, 3 walks, 3 2/3. The guy just uses so many pitches. It just takes so many pitches to get through innings. 235 Ks last year and 174 in the third. The Dodgers aren't hitting lefties to start the year. 213, 618 OPS. It was something that I expected this team to have gotten over, and that was part of the reason why I had them on the over yesterday, which lost. Dennis Garcia says favorite play tonight is Arizona. Glenn Elliott, man, leaning to the Dodgers -1. We already heard Rod Zawacki on the Dodgers -1.5. The D-backs aren't hitting righties at all to start the year or hitting anybody, but 206, 568 OPS versus righties. Dodgers coming off a 2-game road sweep of Houston. Is this a letdown spot? That's the big question. Is this a letdown spot for the Dodgers after they were so emotionally involved in the games against Houston? Dodgers were 11-8 against Diamondbacks last year, but just 4-6 at Chase. And Ray 8-5 with a 3.15 ERA, 20 career starts against the Dodgers. Always pitches them tough. Take it away, Nolly. What's your move? Dodgers, Diamondbacks.
Well, Dodgers, yeah, it was a very emotional game. I even felt it myself as a Dodger fan. Game 1 was very intense. But yesterday was a lot calmer. It seemed like everybody got it out with that scuffle. I even felt calmer as a fan, and maybe the letdown was actually yesterday. I actually caught a nice little game to go extra innings at 3-1 in that game as I was watching it. I just wanted to mess around. It's my team, so I wanted to see, and I was able to get it. But yeah, now you got the Dodgers going to go face their divisional opponent. And like you said, Robbie Reyes had a lot of success against the Dodgers. So you put it on the board there. But a lot of that success was also in Dodger Stadium. He does come to pitch, and he pitches well. Him and Corbin were really a thorn on the Dodgers side for the last few years. And if you look at his start against San Diego, when you look at those numbers, it's easy to say that he didn't have a good outing. But I watched that game very closely. And if you look at it, it was mainly one mistake to Will Myers, which was a 3-run bomb. The biggest problem was the walks. He put the 2 guys on before that, so that now that home run turns into 3. Other than that, I thought he looked really well. You heard me talk about something in the last appearance, this short arm action. This is something that Robbie Ray has incorporated from last year to this year. He's gone on a diet. He's lost 15 pounds. He looks skinny, especially with a big hair out there. And I think he's poised to have a decent year. And he's always pitching well against the Dodgers. And I somewhat expect that to continue, especially how you've seen some of the Dodger bats going cold as of late. And on the other side, you got Ross Stripling. Ross Stripling is back and forth between the bullpen and as a starter. And when you look at some of the opponent's numbers, it seems like they fare really well against them. You got David Peralta hitting 435 and 23 at-bats. Starlin Marte hitting 400. You got a lot of guys that's had some success against him. But if you look a little closer to his numbers, last year he had 5 appearances against them, 4 starts. He had a 2.5 ERA, only 5 earned runs in 18 innings. So he does pitch well against these Diamondbacks. And if you guys are paying attention to a lot of my bets, I'm picking on these Diamondbacks early. I don't expect their bats to be awake early. And this is a game that I have not pulled the trigger, but another lean to the first 5 under.
First 5 under makes sense. I do not. How did the Dodgers possibly get up for this game? They travel. They come off that important series against the Astros. Everything to me situationally screams Diamondbacks. Would you agree with that statement?
I would lean that way without a doubt, but it's just Ross Stripling, his success that I see, that's what I see, and I see the pitching advantage here. So, and also remember, my angle is always geared first towards totals, so that's where I look for it first.
First 5 under 5. Arizona makes sense to me, and the under makes sense to me. This is I think I gotta pull the trigger. Okay, Dennis says trust your instincts, Jimmy. The concern is, seeing Rod Zwacky and these other very strong cappers on the Dodgers. Fathead says, yeah, Jimmy, I think Diamondbacks plus 1.5. I'm never going to turn a dog into a favorite. And okay, I think all of this makes a ton of sense. I think it's going to be a sleepy game, not a lot of emotion. I'm going to pull the trigger here. Now, it won't be official until I bet it. So I'll bet it, and then I'll tweet out what I got at that number. So that you have to follow me on Twitter for that. But, okay, first 5 under 5. First 5 under 5. And then I'm going to also take the Diamondbacks on the money line. All right. Yes, Fathead, I'm going to take the money line. I'm going to take the plus. Conor Malott says Dodgers rake in Arizona. I just, if this was NHL, I would be bullish on the dog with the better team coming from a very emotional series of which they sweep. I know it was only 2 games, and then traveling to a divisional game. I would be so bullish. Why am I not bullish? Because I don't succeed in MLB just like I do in NHL. I gotta listen to what Dennis is saying there. And okay, first 5 under 5, which will be, rolling with our guy Nolly and sort of correlating with my thoughts on the game. And then Diamondbacks full game money line is. If this was NHL, I'd be so. I'm telling you, I'd be so confident in it. It's just because MLB, I'm not. Okay, let's move over to Mariners, Angels. Then we have Padres, Giants to finish off the card. Then we got to take one more look at everything and ensure that we have the right moves. So we're making out the right moves. Okay, let's move to Mariners, Angels right now. Tricky stuff. 85 Fahrenheit clear, 8 miles per hour out to right field. You got Marco Gonzalez, Gonzaga boy. First start looked okay. Pretty much what he does. He doesn't strike out a lot of batters. He walks 1 out of every 4, I guess. 1 walk and 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs. They pulled him early. Going up against Dylan Bundy. Dylan Bundy continues to be somebody that I don't want to fade with him getting his fresh start. And that's what he's getting right now is his fresh start and get out of Baltimore. And remember that you were like the 4th overall draft pick or some shit. I think it was 2011. Mariners versus righties, 269, 805 OPS. They're hitting. The Mariners lineup is better than we expected it to be. Nice job, Alex Mowbray had the Mariners yesterday. and cashed. Mariners rally to win 10-7. They feel good about themselves. J.P. Crawford, who is a character guy, batting leadoff, saying all the right things afterwards. And then we have Bundy, 2.70 ERA, 4 career appearances against the Mariners. Ohtani heating up. Brian Warner says, I'll never bet on a guy named Bundy. Personal thing. Let's see the market move here. Let's see the market move here. It is a that's not Al he's talking about, I'm sure. That's a different Bundy. Padres opened up minus 160, 15 cent. Oh, sorry. Mariners, sorry. Angels opened up at minus 185, and there's been a 25-cent move towards them. Now minus 210. Gonzalez, Bundy, Mariners, Angels. Nolly, take it away.
All right, here you got Gonzalez, a pitcher for the Mariners that, I mean, he shows signs that he can be pretty good, but he's a guy that I'd never really trust. I don't like his stuff. He had 4 games against this Angel team. It was a 5.61 ERA, gave up 16 runs in just 25 innings. So this Angel team seems to hit pretty well against him. And like you said, Mike Trout is going to do his thing, but Ohtani's starting to heat up, and that's a big thing. Rendon doing his thing. He's starting to get acclimated. Took a little bit of time off for it. Didn't play originally, and the lineup seems to be turning around. And the big question mark with the Angels, though, is their bullpen. You seen they weren't able to hold on to the lead. The game kept going back and forth. But like you said, Bundy, it's very interesting to see what kind of career he has over here with the Angels. He was highly touted coming out, like you said, in 2011. And the Angels gave up quite a bit. They gave up 4 pitching prospects for Bundy. If you look at his numbers, it's like, why? But kind of get you thinking maybe these guys know something I don't. And if you look at the advanced metrics, his spin rate on his fastball is higher than a lot. And so these guys feel that they can do something with him. And not just that, if you look at his approach to the game, he's throwing a lot more breaking balls. He's a fastball slider type of pitcher, and he's going a lot more to the breaking balls, and it's what he's going to be going with a lot going forward. Stop trying to overpower people with the fastball. But here I see an advantage here with the Angels on the first 5, but not really the guy that I'm going to trust here in this game. I'm going to stay away from this game. I need to see more. I'm being surprised by the Seattle Bats. They're, like you said, better than we thought. And the Angels bullpen has been so inconsistent. It's tough. It's tough for me to decide on this one, but yeah, maybe an over. But yeah, I'm going to stay away, but I would lean Angels. I think they do have the pitching advantage. Bundy looks like he still has some stuff, and I have no faith really in Gonzalez.
Agreed. I do have some faith in Gonzalez. I don't think he's an elite pitcher, but again, that's
surprised. Yeah, he could do his thing.
Gonzaga.
Yeah,
I've been a fan of him since he came out of Gonzaga. Okay, so Mariners Angels is a pass for me. I can understand looking at the over, just sitting at 9. There's been a 10-cent move to the over. Mariners Angels. Okay, let's keep rolling here. And Gerardo Hernandez said, did Nolly say an over? I used to remember back in the day, if Nolly was ever on an over, I would just immediately tail it without thinking twice. Because it was always like betting against your home team, Padres Giants. Let's talk about this. This is a spot where I want to go right back to the well with the Padres. Let's see what the market movement's been here. Damn, yeah, 15-cent move to the Padres. This total's gone from 8.5 to 7.5. That's very interesting. Damon Santori saying that Fletcher is raking. Yeah, he's looking very good. Curious to hear what you think of this move from 8.5 to 7.5. Clearly, they're believing in Gausman. Gausman's first start, although he did get in a game, 4 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks, 1 walk in the series against the Dodgers. Did Nelson Lamet, someone I've always believed in, and he looked good in that first start. 8 Ks, 1 earned run in 5 innings. Last year, he came back late in the season, 4.07 ERA, 1.26 whip, 73 innings, 105 Ks, 30 walks. The Padres are smashing righties, 254, 872 OPS, and what we thought was their strongest point, their bullpen, is what let us down yesterday. Giants are hitting 255, 659 OPS versus righties. That's what we expect from them. I thought we were in I considered it a win until I woke up this morning and realized that it was a loss. Lamet looked good against the Diamondbacks, as I said. And he's 1-1, 3.09 ERA against the Giants in 2 career appearances. He's throwing 100. We saw 100 on the radar gun against Arizona. And Gausman is someone I don't trust. But in saying that, Gausman did look much better in Cincinnati. That was when he wasn't starting. So he comes out of the bullpen in Cincinnati last year after getting let go by the Braves. He goes 0-2, 4.03 ERA, 1.16 whip. As a starter with the Braves, he was 3-7, 6.19 ERA, 1.49 whip. I wonder if he's thinking too much. I'm very close to going back to the Padres. I think I might even double up on the Padres, depending on what Nolly has to say about this total going from 8.5 to 7.5 and what he thinks about these starting pitches. Take it away, Nolly. Padres, Giants.
Padres, Giants, yeah. Another youngster here, Dinelson Lamet, and he looked really good. And like you said, he's got his fastball going up, and that's a result of the Tommy John, something that you see a lot happen with these pitchers. They get this Tommy John. I guess you start losing a couple of miles an hour, just go get Tommy John. But no, he looked really well. Like you said, the fastball looked really well for him. And you hear some of these guys, the way that they talk about him, they say he's a dominant pitcher. He gets better and better every time he goes out there. A lot of the stuff, he doesn't seem like the situation's too big for him. He's poised on the mound, and I think he's going to have another good start here against San Francisco, who I think is pretty bad. If you guys see my Twitter page, I have their team total wins to go under 24.5, and they were able to squeak out that win. The coach was very upset. They kind of let San Francisco hang around. The bullpen wasn't able to shut it down. It was a surprise, but I don't expect that to happen a lot. Here on the other side, you got Gausman, second appearance, did not look too good against the Dodgers in a long relief role is what he mainly has. So him here getting the start, not really too worried about him. I'm over here thinking that the San Diego bats are going to continue to hit. They look like the additions and Tommy Pham are coming, or excuse me, they're getting success from it. And I expect those bats to continue. I'm looking at San Diego here, first 5 and full game.
Agreed. It was a mistake that I didn't already bet it. Glenn Elliott, man, great to have you back in action, my man. We're going to talk NHL heavy tomorrow, and then Babana will be hosting the show on Saturday, and we'll be talking NHL very heavy. Agreed. I'm going to lock in Padres first 5 minus a half run. Going to get the minus 120 there. I'm not going to pay the juice. They're giving us 50 cents there, so I'll take it. And then I'm going to take the full game of Padres on the minus 1 line. So I'm going to be locking in that as soon as I can, as soon as this show is over. So let's take a look through this card one more time very quickly. Let's not break down the game, just decide if we're making a move on it. We'll start with you, Nolly, and then we'll go to me. So Nationals, Blue Jays. Nolly, are you making a move?
No, I need more time, but I lean first 5. Toronto.
First 5, Toronto. I'm off. Cubs, Reds. I don't think this game is going to be played. Even if it looks like it's going to be played, there's going to be weather issues all night. Therefore, I don't want to back Castillo. I'm just going to stay off my plan. And Robert Allen said Giants going to beat the Padres again today. We'll see. They took care of business yesterday. So I'm off Cubs, Reds. I don't want to mess with the weather.
Yeah, I'll stay off that game. If anything, I'll look to live bet it if I feel inclined.
Makes sense. Nolly, Yankees, Orioles.
Yankees, Orioles. I want to bet the over. I might get there. Even that it went up a little bit, I'll get the worst of the number. But over is the only way to go.
All right, let's go into games that I am making moves on. I need to study. I need Joe Yurkovich, such a great capper, and he's so sound. He's so sound. Like when I start reaching, he always gives me a little message that I'm reaching. Of course, I got to look at who the ump is for the 6.5 Ks. So they don't give anything away. And plus 110 or plus 125 at over 6.5 Ks, I got to do some study on the ump. That'll be the very first thing I do when the show's over. And then I may take that over 6.5 Ks. I am interested in this first 5 under 4.5 with you and Indians Twins. Are you going to pull the trigger on it?
Yeah, that one's already bet. That was a big bet.
And you
I
got
put
the
that in.
5, didn't you? Did you say you got the 5 here?
No. That one I got 4.5 on that
Okay.
one. Yeah.
Okay. I'm in. I'm in. I'll come in on that first 500, 4.5, and I'll see what line I get as soon as it shows over when I bet it. Okay. Red Sox, Mets. I'm already on the Mets -1, -114. Are you making a move, Red Sox, Mets?
No move for me on that one. Yeah, I'll be off of that one.
I wonder if I should be. I would. I was so right about Perez in that game 1 that I'm nervous. Nervous doing this again. Let's just see what I'd have to go -0.5. The Mets should come out angry. Boston should come out relieved. I'm going to double up on these losses I had yesterday. So I'm already on the Mets -1. I'm going to jump on first 5 -0.5. I'm taking Mats over Perez, and I'm going to be bullish and not get concerned. Rays, I don't think I have a big enough advantage. I'll tell you what, the Braves situation I have, Nolly, is just because there's a big plus line right beside the Rays. That's the only reason why I want to bet this. I don't feel like I have a huge edge. I just think Yarbrough's a good pitcher, and I think I have maybe a slightly better baseball team, and I'm getting a plus line. Do you think I should pull the trigger on the Rays Braves, or are you going to pull the trigger?
I mean, I agree with all those things that you're saying. They do check the mark, and if you're getting a plus number, I guess if you bet that way, then you take it automatically. But in my theory is if you're going to bet that way, you have to bet almost all the games that have that. So every time you see that advantage, you have to take it for you to be profitable at the end of the season. It's not something I look for. Totals the way, and I'm on the first 500 here.
And was this the one that you got the better line of? Was the first 5?
Oh yeah, I think this was the 5. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the 5. And I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, I don't bet to push though, so still like the 4.5, but just maybe a little less.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay off of reaching in those situations. Okay, I'll make a decision about. I don't feel like I have a big enough advantage, and if it's just because I see a play, okay, I'm cutting. If I had a free bet, I'd bet the Rays, but I'm not. Freed's gonna be good. This is gonna be a tight game, and I've got enough action here on my card, so cutting that. Royals, Tigers. Take it away. You're on the under.
Under 5.5 here. Yeah, I think it's like you said, it's not the sexiest pick, but I like it. Everything's checking the boxes for me, and I got to jump on it, especially at that value number.
Yeah, I mean they need 6 runs to hurt you. So Royals first righties 207, 699 OPS. It's the Royals that will hurt us the most. Vipers on the under 10 full game. Tigers versus righties 212, 729 OPS. And we got Brady Singer, who's just itching to get back on the mound. And we're getting that 5.5. 9 miles per hour sideways right across the diamond. And when it's 9 miles per hour right across the diamond sideways, Nolly, does that help the spin rate for these pitchers?
In my opinion, without a doubt, even if it's blowing out, it affects the pitching as much as the hitting. So you're getting more wind resistance, means more braking. Those seams on the ball are there to cause movement, and that's what they do. So yeah, the wind at that rate will cause 9 miles an hour is not huge. You have to remember we are in a large stadium, so 9 miles an hour you get probably like 3 or 4, but it does help. I definitely I think so.
All right, I'm in. First 500, 5.5. I'm in. God, Ivan Nova. I feel like I see the future, and it's me screaming his name in anger. Okay, Dodgers, Diamondbacks. I'm going with this. This is a good sign. This will be a good sign for how this year's going to go. And it's not the first 5 under 5. I like it. It's the Nolly look that correlates with my action. But if the Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers, I think I'm set for a good season. The season started out 14-11. What are we up? Oh, that's NBA. Sorry, NBA is 5.7 years. MLB, we are 14-11, up 2.47 units. This is a big day for me. RTD2 is on Dodgers run line. A Beautiful Murder says Dodgers, I think, will win. Yeah, Johnny, 5.5. First 5 under 5.5 is that Royals Tigers game. So it'll be a fun bet. I already started kicking.
Oh man, Jimmy, now you're making me nervous, man.
No, I know. I took over, man. Oh God, and I kind of like the guy. I like as a person. Like he's a pretty fun character. Okay, Dodgers, Diamondbacks. How are you handling this?
Dodgers, Diamondbacks. I'm not sure if I'm gonna attack it, but I'm leaning hard to the first 5 under 5. I like both starting pitchers here. I don't know how deep they'll go, but I like the way the Stripling looked, and he knows how to start games, and I see them. I see it staying under, especially like you said. You're traveling off that emotional series over there with Houston. Their bats went cold over there, and the bullpen looked phenomenal for the Dodgers. So I like the under here.
Mariners, Angels is a stay off for me. Jimmy Cece, what's happening, my man? Great to see you. Thank you for joining us. R2D2 Finland back in action as well. Mariners, Angels, how are you handling it?
Mariners, Angels, I'm actually thinking of this is a debate for me here. I'm looking to see if this game, maybe a couple innings, no score, and maybe try to take a live over. But if anything, Angels are pass here. I can't, but I'm not taking anything.
And Padres, I've decided to roll with Nolly. Nolly got me where I want. I should have pulled the trigger earlier. Just, again, remember the two biggest biases that we have to deal with, recency and vividness. And I've told you guys often about the book that really helped me with it, The Undoing Project by Michael Lewis, who wrote Moneyball. Read The Undoing Project. You will absolutely love it. You will inhale it. And the recency bias is why I didn't already make this Padres bet. I'm going to go make it as soon as the show's over. First 5 full game. You're on it as well? Oh, no, you're on
Yeah,
mute.
I'm on the first 5 as of now.
Yeah. No, you're good now? You're good. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, first 5 as of now. You're not on full game yet.
Not as of now. I'm gonna find a way to get on there. I haven't done those -1 lines like you've been doing, but I like that. But I might take the risk with the -1.5. I haven't decided yet, but I'm more of a first 5 type of better.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Tomorrow's show is going to be high octane, fast and furious. We're going to have NHL, NBA, and MLB. And there's only a 2-week period where this happens in regular life. And that's March 28th till about April 12th, April 13th. And they're the 2 toughest weeks of the year for me. And we're going to be going through it now. And it's going to be highly intense. So that starts tomorrow. That's all I'll say. That starts tomorrow. And I'm a little nervous about it. There's Shaft. We got Shaft back in action. So nice to see you, Shaft. I love seeing everybody get back in action. Nolly getting a ton of love from the chat. Where you can find Nolly every Thursday. We're going to be going with Thursdays right now. That could change in the future, but right now, every Thursday on Betting with the Bag, Nolly Knows in the house. And we're so thankful to roll with you. Thank you for sharing all your hard work and insight, Nolly. You have any last words for these great cappers in the chat?
Let's keep grinding, man. Let's work together, man. That's a big thing that I learned here, joining this low bag family. You can work together and everybody put their insights and come up with some great picks. And also, Max, mine is better than yours.
All you guys, thank you so much. Hood Trucker says Ant made some great picks too yesterday. He sure did. So we're going to figure exactly what day of the week Ant is going to have, but he'll be on one day a week, so you guys will always know. If you want to catch Nolly Knows, he will be here Thursdays with us. Bo Moore, Intex, Reese, Brian Warner, Die Hard MMA podcast. Clint in the house. We're going to get lots of Clint as well. Love him. Captain 24/7 says any NBA moves. Yeah, one for me. Very simple. Joe Ingles, slow-mo Joe, over 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists tonight. And for whatever reason, Nolly, for an enjoyment factor, and I don't know why it is, but when my only bet is one player's points, rebounds, and assists, I enjoy watching the game immensely. But for whatever reason, I drink much heavier. But I enjoy watching it, screaming at the TV. So I'm
just screaming at that one guy.
Oh yeah, and Joe's so slow, man. The way he's just slowly. Oh god, it's gonna be enormously fun. Won't be wearing a shirt and I'll be sweating profusely, but I'm going to enjoy it very, very much. Mr. Gokster in the house, Brian Warner, Jimmy CC, A Beautiful Murder, Glenn Elliott, Man Chaff, Guillermo Zertucci, Connor McLaughlin, Reese, Viper, AP Indy, Bob Lee Swagga, Kenny Rogers won. All you guys, thank you so much on behalf of myself and our special guest, Mr. Nolly Knows. Nolly, thank you so much for joining us. Let's have a big day today. Nolly coming off a huge day, 4-0-1. Follow him on Twitter at Nolly562. I dropped that into the chat. Let's have a big day. Big day. Let's get after it again tomorrow. Gas Station Susie says, scream at Robbie Ray. I may have to do that too. Let's go. Let's have a big day. Lecce, Halos Bookmakers! Live horse racing tonight with razor sharp picks. Get paid in full.